Hey guys, AngryBeast here, bringing you some fumigation gameplay on the map Ace Chemical, using my nimble body type here with the Partisan and the Persuader shotgun. Trying to play a little bit more defensive in this game. I've been doing that a little bit more recently, and just trying to see how well that compares to just rushing up and killing people. But it's some entertaining gameplay. I think it turns out being a 19 and a 10 with the Partisan. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's not the best gameplay I've gotten, but it'll suffice for what I'm going to talk about today, which is the flaws in this game. I've never really spoken that bad about this game before. I've always said this game is one of the best. You should go get it. But I'm not gonna cherry coat it. This game does have its flaws. A game without flaws is impossible to have. Any multiplayer game, someone's gonna find some way to exploit it. There's no perfect game. What really makes a perfect game is a game where the developers support it well enough so that you don't have to worry about glitches and bugs, and the game is constantly being rebalanced by the developers. That's a perfect game to me, and I want to talk about that in this video. Now, one of the major things that I think this game failed at was aiming down sights. In this game, the aim down sights feature is extremely broken. There are not many other ways to look at it. When you aim down sights in this game, half the time it doesn't even work, and the other half it takes forever to aim down sight, and there's no way to speed that up. But that's not too big of a deal. I mean, the biggest problem for me is the fact that I don't actually aim down sights when I press the button. Like right there, I was aiming down sights, but the view glitched out because I was sprinting, so I didn't get the bonus of aiming down sights for quite a long time. So it doesn't really condone itself to defensive play for that reason. That's why I run around with the shotgun a lot, because I can still hip fire that weapon and be very effective with it. The other thing is the hip fire doesn't, the aim down sight doesn't work half the time. You don't see that too much in this gameplay, but when you're up at a little bit of a range, your iron sights are always going to be misaligned. You're never going to hit directly on your irons, which is very frustrating, to say the least. When I aim down sights, I expect to be completely accurate, and the recoil should take my bullets where they go, not being random and just going wherever it feels like around the irons. But you know, that's just a design issue, and there isn't too much you can do about that. There's no perk or whatever to increase the accuracy of your bullets, which I wish there was, because a weapon like this could be amazing if all its bullets went in one spot. But since it doesn't, I'd say that the close quarters weapons are better, and that's why a lot of people run the shotguns in this game. It's because they can guarantee almost a kill in almost every situation, and it gives them that advantage that they don't have to aim down sights to get the kill with them. Now, while the aim down sights is kind of broken, I think they did a good thing with optics in this game. You have the holographic sight and you have the red dot sight as far as your optics are concerned. And while the holographic sight you don't see used that often, it's a very useful attachment, I'm not going to lie. It increases your zoom just by a little bit, which is good. I mean, you should always increase zoom. And it also increases your ability to acquire targets, and that's a big part of first-person shooter. If you can't acquire a target, you're never going to get the kill. And you know, the red dot sight's a little bit different. I mean, it increases zoom by 4x. It's kind of like an ACOG scope, so it's less useful on a lot of weapons. Like the Gatekeeper, it's pretty much useless. But on other weapons like the Partisan here or the Huntsman, it's a very, very, very powerful asset and shouldn't be underestimated. Now, one of the things that this game did do right was attachments. Personally, I hate the Modern Warfare 3 style of attachment list. When I'm using my AA-12, I shouldn't have to use it for 3 freaking hours to unlock the extended mags and damage because you freaking put it at level 30. No! No and no! I should be able to unlock the extended mags at any freaking time I want. And I think this game did that well. You unlock an attachment unlock, and you can just buy whichever order you want, whichever weapon you want at any time you want, and I think that's a good thing. Black Ops had that, and I hope it returns at least in some form in Black Ops 2, because it allowed players like me who use pretty much everything and anything in this game to use setups that they wouldn't normally use, because I don't have to go around and use that weapon for 500 kills to unlock the ACOG scope, so I could use the PM9 ACOG without having to use it for forever. Now, another thing this game failed at, in my opinion, is map balance. This right here is a good map, in my opinion. Not all maps are bad in this game, but I think some of the map selection is pretty bad. This map, in and of itself, is pretty good. It's got good flank routes. It's pretty balanced. I mean, no one side really has the advantage on this map. One side spawns closer to B, the other side spawns with a better position to defend B. So it's a give and take situation there. But what I think this map failed at is maps like Gotham Light Power, I believe it is. And in Psych Warfare, you can literally spawn trap right in front of the enemy spawn. You can sit on a health pack right in front of the enemy spawn and just watch them spawn in front of you. With a heavy body type with Horse Healthy, you're pretty much invincible in that spot. And that's frustrating to me. I should never have a spot where I have the advantage in every situation and I can spawn trap you in it all the time. It doesn't matter really what the game mode is. It works in a fumigation as well. You sit on top of that health pack and you'll just be there all day long until someone can find a way to Thunder Dragon you out. Now, it's not that big of a deal, don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, I will skip that map or leave the lobby if that comes up in the rotation. The other map that really frustrates me is what is that? 25th floor. That map is just terrible. All it is two teams running towards the center and a lot of explosives in between. And I personally don't like explosives in a video game. I would like it if all video games just remove the idea of explosives, even as a camper removing tool. Because guess what? I can be camping, but even still, the rocket launcher is frustrating even when it's used as an anti-camper tool. So, personally speaking, I think that map is a bad map, so I'll skip that as well. But maps like this and Alley are both really, or Crime Alley are both really good maps. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where it can go either way on a map design for me. I like a map that's a little bit more open and I can choose where I want to go. And I'm not limited to going down corridors, which are easy to rocket launch and get me out of the center of the map. So. But in the end, it comes down to personal preference, and overall, I think this game did a pretty good job of map balance, but there's a couple of maps that just stick out as having some flaws. Next thing I want to talk about is weapon balance. Now, this is a very touchy subject, because weapon balance is something that's impossible to get perfect. There will always be one weapon that is better than the rest, as long as there's more than one weapon in the game. There's no real way to balance every single weapon. In this game, the weapons that really stand out are the Persuader. I think everybody pretty much uses that shotgun. And the other weapon that really stands out is the Jackhammer. The Gatekeeper's up there, but I don't think it's like overpowered or really even overused. It's a good weapon for a low recoil, but that's about it. It does really low damage. But the Jackhammer, on the other hand, is a weapon that any freaking buddy can use and be successful with. Now, the Jackhammer really could use a little bit of a tuning. I talked about that before. It's pretty much OP in this game. It's all anybody really seems to use against me. Now, no, I know that it's not the only weapon that's used, but it's the only weapon that I ever see used against me. So that frustrates me at times. But overall, I think the best way to make a perfect game is to have the developers support it. And they really have. They've added new weapons. They've tweaked existing weapons, because I believe they decreased the aim down sight spread of the Persuader shotgun in a patch, but I'm not too sure about that. So overall, I think they did a good job on weapon balance. A couple weapons stick out as being a little bit better than the rest, but, you know, there isn't too much you can do about that. The next thing that I want to talk about is body type balance. Overall, this game did a pretty good job of balancing body types. I mean, everyone has their little niche, but I think that certain ones are just useless. What's the advantage of using a speedy type over a heavy type, or over a mighty type, excuse me? Well, let's see. What advantage does the Mighty type have? Okay, Mighty type has triple health. That's very good, very good. Let's see. What else does it have? It can carry any weapon in the game, no detriment to its speed. Very good, very good. What else can it do? It can one-hit knife any other class in the game, which is not using Cutthroat, I believe it is, or Leathery. So that's 3 advantages. Now, what does the Speedy have? Okay, the Speedy can run really fast, and that's about it. There really aren't too many advantages to using a Speedy over a Mighty in this game, because even if I am using a Speedy, if I get behind a guy, he can still turn around and kill me in time, and that frustrates me at times. I mean, I'll be using my Nimble, and I'll come up behind a Mighty, and I'll pump into him 3 times with my shotgun, and he somehow survives. But the gameplay is over. I might continue this commentary in another one. It ends up being a 19-10 with a Partisan Rifle with 23 assists. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out, and I will catch you guys in my next video.